All right, I am live on YouTube and on Instagram. Um, I wanted to say happy June. Happy June. Um, for those who may not know me, I am Tahira. I am the face behind the brand Tahira Gift. I'm a Christian teacher, author, and self publishing consultant. I'm the owner of Tahira Gift Consulting, where I help you to write, self publish, and market your faith based books for impact and income. And so for Instagram, I have not been live since 2022. So this is my first time going live in 2023. And for YouTube, this is my very first time. So if you're joining me live, thank you so much. Or if you catch the replay, I truly appreciate it. And so today I'm super excited because I realized, you guys, that today was not only June 7th, but it is a month until my new book that God has purposed me to write, Freedom Today, 7 Keys to Activate More Joy, Walk in Your Purpose, and Have Inner Peace in Your Life. You know, God told me to launch it on July 7th, right? 7/7. And for anyone who does not know, my birthday is next month, the 7th month of the year. So I don't think it's by coincidence that God told me to launch it on 7/7. And then I realized today was the 7th of June. Um, and I'm going live at 7 p.m. And I just had all of this energy and excitement. And your girl, I'm a Christian author, but I'm also a Christian teacher. I literally just finished wrapping up um, my class, doing all the report cards. And so I don't really know where this energy came from, but I was like, you know what? I feel inspired to go live. And so I had to just jump on and do it. So I think that even though I don't have any notes, I'm just like going off of my heart and, the energy that God has given me. I think what I want to start doing is I want to share with you all who know that God has purposed you to write a book. I want to give you some tips. I want these lives to be, helpful. I want to be a resource to you. If you know that God has called you to be an author, then these lives, I really want to show up and support you, right? And I'm also going to leave room, for Q&A at the end. If you're someone who knows that and I'm speaking to my blessed author community, like you are supposed to write a book this year in 2023, then I want to be here for you to, drop your questions. I know for Instagram, there is a question box where you can leave your comments. And hi, I see Sarai from Hilltop. Thank you so much. How are you? I'm doing good. Thank you for joining my live and supporting. For anybody who don't know, I have a beautiful, supportive community at the school that I work at, but they are on summer break. And I am officially on summer break. And so I see some of them joining me on my Instagram. However, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with tips. So each of these lives, I really want to give you something that will help you on your journey. If you know that you want to write a book, you want to publish a book, you want to market your book if you already have a book, and whatever God kind of leads me to do, I'm going to be open to that. But let's go ahead and dive into some tips, okay? Because for those who do not know, and I'm going to take this straight out of my signature book, 6-Step Blueprint, How to Write a Book in 30 Days for Faith-Based Authors. So this book is my signature book. And this book, since it launched in October of 2021, has made me consistent month after month, every single month, royalty from Amazon. And so I can help you do it in 30 days. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm following my own tips because now I got 30 days until my new book come out July 7th, right? Today's June 7th. Like I said, God inspired me. I had all this energy. And I'm like, where did all this energy come from? I looked down at the calendar and I realized I am 30 days until my book come out. So I'm like, I want to show up for the people who know that their purpose, but maybe you don't know how to get started. Maybe you're an aspiring author. Maybe you are wanting to self-publish, but you don't have all of the steps. Maybe you have a book and it's not selling? How do you market it? So we're going to cover all of that over the next 30 days. I'm really going to show up and I want to support you. And today I do not have an outline. Yes, I'm a teacher and usually I'm very structured, but today I'm just coming totally inspired. Okay. So let's get into some tips. And this is coming directly out of my book. For anyone who would like to get it, there is a link in my bio. You can go to my author page. But we are going to go to step 3, set writing goals and start the writing process. And I'm taking these tips straight out of the book because they still work. And in the book, I give you my top 30 writing tips for first-time authors. So let's just go ahead and dive right in. Okay, so tip number 1. Okay, you guys ready? Tip number 1 is you want to set up your writing desk or another area where you feel inspired to write. So tip number 1, if you want to write a book this year in 2023, you want to set up your writing desk or another area where you feel inspired to write. Okay. And so I actually did that right before I went live because I knew that I wanted to, have a place where I can go live. So I had to clean up my desk, true transparency moment. My desk was a mess, but we gonna get better. And also, you guys, sometimes you're not inspired to write at a desk. Like, it doesn't have to be this formal setup. For me lately, with my new book that's coming out, real talk, I've been writing in my bed. So God will wake me up sometimes 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. I was writing early mornings, before I go to work, or, on a Sunday was like my writing day when the kids would sleep in, when they was in school, that was my set day. And I would literally get on my phone and I would start just flowing, just writing whatever was on my heart about my book. And so sometimes wherever you feel led to write, for some people, it may be you have to go to a place, Barnes and Noble, the library, be around books. For some people, you may have to go to a coffee shop. You may need to, go to a beautiful park or picnic. Wherever you feel inspired to write, that's what you want to do, right? And we're talking about people who are purpose to write a book and it's go time. Like me, I'm 30 days away from my new book coming out. So it's go time for me. It's time for me to really, put the pen to paper. Well, right now it's actually me just typing it on my Google Docs and we'll get into different hacks in a minute. So moving on, I'm gonna give you guys another tip. You ready? Hi, thanks for joining. I see you, Camilla Washington. Thank you for joining. So, tip number 2, if you know that you are purpose to write a book, and I'm taking this straight out of my signature book, 6-Step Blueprint, you're going to schedule time to write. And I recommend, at least 30 minutes a day during the 30-day Write Your Book Challenge, or 2 hours and 30 minutes a week. So let me say that again. In this book, I teach you how to write your book in 30 days. And so I'm saying that if you're going to be following this, formula, this blueprint, then you're going to take 5 days a week and write at least 30 minutes. Or if you can't do 30 minutes for 5 weeks, then you're going to have to write, or you get to write, right? Because we all have a choice. We have free will. You get to write 2 hours and 30 minutes a week. Now, that's the minimum. Right? If you want to be flowing, if God is speaking to you, and there has been times this has happened to me where I look up and it's been 4 hours, and I call that like divine inspiration. And it's just, when I look up, I have a chapter, and that can happen when you are purposed to write a book. And so, but if you're trying to make sure that you have a scheduled time, and I want to say this too, for all of my working people, because I understand, like I said, just now, I'm good to be on summer break, but your girl was working sometimes 7, 12-hour days, as a Christian teacher. The only times I could write was Sunday mornings, because when I got home, real talk, I was too tired. I had enough energy maybe to cook dinner or order dinner, real talk, right, for my kids and rest so I could do it again the next day, right? And so don't feel like you have to write every single day. However, if you're following this plan, that's one of the suggestions, okay? So I'm going to give you, let's do 3 more. Okay. Because I'm just feeling generous. We're talking about for those who are purpose to write your book, I'm giving you some tips so that you can get it done. All right. So, tip number 3, you want to take a break from the first chapter and move forward. Don't get stuck in perfectionism. Take 1 week if needed, then go back and revise chapters. And so, what I'm saying here is that you don't have to finish chapters in order. You do not have to go and say, oh, I have to get chapter 1 done before I move to chapter 2. I recommend you start with something and then you move forward. Okay. Because we're trying to get it done in 30 days. And a lot of times when you step away and you take a break from something and then you come back, you'll be able to notice and see things that you want to add or keep or take away. Right. And we'll talk about that later when we get to rough draft. But it's good to take a break, right, from the first chapter, and do not feel like you have to write in order. Hi, thanks for joining. And so I'm giving some tips for those who feel like they're supposed to write a book in 2023. And we are on tip number 4. So, and I kind of was talking about this, but don't be afraid to skip around. Some people write the introduction last. Actually, I prefer to write my introduction after I've written most of the book, because then I can really break down and tell, my reader what my book is going to be about. And so don't feel like you have to go in order with your book. Don't feel like you have to write the introduction. And yes, you should have an outline. We'll talk about that probably in another live. You want to have like an order of how you're structuring your book, how you're writing your book. By the way, if you need help with that, that is something that I help you with at Tahir Gift Consulting. So you can go to the link of my bio and you can book a session. I'll be happy to help you. That's something that I'm gifted at. I love structuring books. I love creating outlines. So that is something that I do. However, for me personally, with this book that I'm currently writing, for anybody who just joined, God has purposed me to release a new book. It's coming out July 7th, Freedom Today. And it's going to be 7 keys to activate more joy, walk in purpose, and have inner peace in your life. That's where God has me. And that's where I feel called to talk about in my newest book. And so actually, I've been going backwards, you guys. Check this out. And I've never done this before. So I know that this is truly God helping me, Holy Spirit, to write this book. I actually started writing the end first. I have what is going to be at the end of my book done. And I actually don't have all of my first chapter completed. And I have not written the introduction. But you know what? Your girl is confident that I can get it done in 30 days. Not only because I'm following the same tips that are in my book now that I'm out for summer break and I have more time, to write. I have the freedom to do so. But I know that the blueprint works, right? I know that this will, for those who don't know, this is my signature book, but your girl has written over 20 books. And they, some I've taken down because I was like, deciding to republish. But this book right here, this is the book that consistently, and I'm saying month after month after month, since its launch in October 2021, I've had consistent royalties from Amazon. And so this is something that I also want to help teach you guys how to do, right? How to not only write your book and publish it on Amazon KDP and market your book, but how to make consistent additional income outside of your 9 to 5, because it is possible. Okay. So this is just the beginning. First, you got to get the book out and then you can make the impact and the income. And I'm just super excited. Like I said, I'm showing up here to be a resource, because one thing I know is that I am purposed to be an author. I love being an author. I'm passionate about it. And this is the honest truth. I knew I wanted to be an author at 19 before I even wrote my first book at 33. So you do the math. I knew that I wanted to be an author at 19, but I didn't publish my first book until I was 33 years old. Okay. And so now I'm just showing up to be a resource. I'm showing up with the same passion. Like I would write anyway, right? If you never brought the book, even though I think you should, it's a great book. I'll drop some reviews. I'm almost 5 stars on Amazon. But like real talk, like this is my heart. This is my passion. This is my ministry. This is what God has called me to do in this season. He said, you are not the only one that, struggled during the pandemic. You are not the only one who, face heartbreak. You are not the only one who, had a smile on the outside, but inside you were hurting. And now that I'm to the other side, now that I have this joy, I have this inner peace, that I'm walking in my purpose and I'm very clear on it. God is like, no, now is the time to write the book. How did you get to where you are? It took faith. It did, yes. And I'm talking to my Christian people, so we can talk about faith. And God was like, no, other women are where you are, or they have that hope that this is where they need to be. And so the book that is coming on July 7th is a ministry for me. Is what God has instructed me to do, is where I'm at. And like I said, I have 30 days until July 7th. And I'm just super, super excited that I can just show up and be a resource. And so that's what we're doing. Oh, I said I would do one more, huh? Hold on. Forgive me. I closed the book. Give me a moment. Let me find it. For anyone who is just joining me, I'm taking these tips out of my signature book, 6-Step Blueprint. And I was in chapter 3. Let me go back to it. Nope, that's step 5. So for anyone, here it is. So each of my chapters is actually a step. The book is called 6-Step Blueprint, How to Write a Book in 30 Days for Faith-Based Authors. It is available. The link should be in my bio to go to my author page. And so this is step 3. I'm taking it out of set writing goals and start the writing process. And so I was giving you my top 30 tips for first-time authors. And I already went through tip number 1, tip number 2, tip number 3, and tip number 4. Yes. And I said I would give you one more. So tip number 5. Okay. Tip number 5. You guys ready? Hi, Bishop. Thank you for joining. So if you know that God has purposed you to write a book in 2023, tip number 5 is you want to get a notebook or a small journal and keep it with you. I call this a writer's journal because you never know when inspiration will hit. And so you guys, right now that I am 30 days to launch, I'm always carrying, whether it is, and I'll show you guys because this was actually a gift. I got this journal. It says, God is in her. She will not fail. Psalms 46:5. A student gave me this for Teacher Appreciation Week. And I carry this in because I carry a big bag. I'll show you guys right here because, I'm a writer. So this is my bag. And that fits in my bag, whether I'm going to church, whether I'm, have it at the side. And I just get inspiration when I'm out. Because actually when I'm home, I have my phone or Google Docs, so I don't usually need it. But sometimes you could just be out and you just want to write things down. For those of us who are tactical learners, kinesthetic, and we need to actually flow and do, the old-fashioned pen and paper. Now, true, you can, do it just by typing on your phone, Google Docs, whatever works for you to write. But that's definitely a tip because when this is the thing. When you're purposed to write a book, it can show up. Inspiration can hit you at any time. It can be 3:00 in the morning. It could be 11 o'clock at night. Hopefully it's not, when you're in the middle teaching like me, and then you gotta be like, oh, let me jot that down, or, wait until I have a lunch break so I can write down that inspiration. But whenever it comes, you want to be ready. And so another thing that I do is I create journals. So I created this Blessed Author notebook, and this is my brand. For anybody don't know, we are the Blessed Authors, especially on YouTube. You already know I'll be saying hi, Blessed Authors. And this is just a blank journal, but you guys will see, like, your girl uses this, right? And so if you are a writer and you just love to write, have a journal, have something that you can just really quickly jot down your ideas. And so those are the 5 tips. I said tip number 1 was set up your writing station. right? Or anywhere that you feel inspired. That's what I did before I jumped on live. Your girl was cleaning, right? And sometimes even organizing just helps you just get that energy flowing, set your mind ready to write. Then I talked about you don't have to go in order. I talked about how you can skip around, don't get stuck on perfectionism and feeling like you have to write chapter one. Like, no, you can take a break and you can come back to it. What else did we talk about? I feel like I'm skipping something else, but it's okay. You guys can go back and watch the replay if you didn't get all of the 5 tips. And there's more. There are actually 30 in the book. Okay. And those are just tips. Those are not the steps. And but like I said, I showed up to be a resource. I'm super, super excited. I'm going to be the goal, or my intention is to go live all the way up until my book launches on July 7th, and just giving you tips, giving you kind of how to self-publish your book and even market your book. So this is the thing. It's also important that you think beyond the book, right? So for me, I was able to not only publish a book, but I started to create bundles around the book. And then that helped me to make additional income and increase my profit, right? And so I want to talk about that as well, because we are in 2023. We know the economy. We know with inflation, we know that this is a time where, maybe your 9 to 5 is not, bringing in enough, right? And you want to have a second stream of income, or you want to have, a side gig. For me, that is my author brand, selling my books, right, and getting royalties. So that is a income stream. And then my consulting business, where I help, people of faith that know that they're called to write a book, with coaching, consulting, and that's another stream, right? Also, so I'll be talking about that. I'll be talking about that in this month. I don't want to get too long on this. Maybe next time be structured. I was just kind of flowing. Like I said, I was excited. And so I think what I want to do is I want to end with Q&A, because I do see people on. And thank you for joining me. I'm going to wave at you guys on Instagram. And thank you. I do see people on live on YouTube. Thank you for joining me. Now, this is my first time going live on YouTube. So let me see if you have any questions. How do I check? Oh, yes, I do see Steph Perez, and actually that is my business mentor and coach. And so actually she's doing a live challenge, and I was like, I'm with it. I'm with it because I have a lot to share. And I see Yvette. Thank you for joining. Hi, great idea to write the end first. Great inspiration. Thanks. You are so welcome. And so I want to open it up actually for Q&A. This is your time. I want to be a resource. If you have any questions about how to write your book, how to self-publish your book, how to market your book, I am an open book. Feel free to pick my brain now. And now I do offer one-on-one consulting. So you can go to the link in my bio and book a session, or if you just have questions. So I have 2 ways that you can work with me. Right now, it is just 60 minutes. We'll jump on a Zoom call and I can help you write, self-publish, or market your book. The other way is I'm actually launching a new 12-week program, which is called Profit with Purpose. Now, that link is not available. However, I will, tell you a little bit about it. I'm basically teaching you to do what I do, what I know how to do as an author who makes consistent royalties, who knows how to create additional income outside of my 9 to 5. First thing we're going to do, we're going to write this book. So if you purpose to write a book, the first 6 weeks of that 12-week program is going to be dedicated to you actually self-publishing and getting your book in hand. Like, you will have a book, right? Done. And then after you have that book, it's important to then go and create a bundle, a brand, and a business so that you can increase your profits. So that's why I'm calling it Profit with Purpose. So it's all about making an impact and an income. But that new program, it is going to actually start July 2nd. So it has not started, and I'm only taking 8 people because it's going to be me coaching you and working with you hands-on for all of third quarter from July through September. And so I'm capping it at 8. So if you're interested in the Profit with Purpose 12-week program, if you want to write a book and you want to learn how to create additional income, if you're on Instagram, I'm going to just ask you to DM me. Just say purpose, and then I can send you the link to the sales page. If you're on YouTube, I will post. I'm going to try to see if I can go back after this live and put the link down. Bear with me, you guys. This is my first time with the YouTube live. So, but maybe what I'll do is I'll do a post on the community tab. If you didn't know, on YouTube, I do post on the community tab. So check that, and then you can find the link. If I can't figure out how to put it in the description, bear with your girl, because this is my first time going live on YouTube. And Instagram, this is my first time in 2023, but your girl is back and super excited. So whether you're joining me live on YouTube or on Instagram, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And is there any questions? Does anyone have any questions before I end this live? And thank you so much for joining. Hi, Money. You got this. Oh, thank you, Heartfelt Fine Art. Greetings. Mwah. And actually, I see one of my previous clients on here, and she was one of, well, you call her a success story, because she published her book in 7 weeks and gave me a great testimony. And so I think I'll share that. Thank you for joining. She's like, you got this. Yeah, I know. I'm just a little rusty. I used to go live all the time on Instagram. For anybody who used to follow me when I first launched this book, and back in 2022. But your girl's back, and I'm super excited. This was so good. Oh, thank you so much. So yeah, I'm taking inspired action. Just I was just super excited. So for anyone who just joining me, today is June 7th. I am God has purposed me to write a new book, and it comes out on July 7th. So we are 30 days until my book came out. And I felt really called to show up and serve, because I'm just passionate about being an author. And there's a lot that I know about how to write a book, how to publish a book, how to market a book. And I just could not hold this in, because at the end of the day, the book is coming out because God has told me to write the book. But I know there's other people who may need this information. And so that's why I'm going live. The goal is until my book comes out. So I put it out there. You guys hold me to it. Okay. I'm going to show up. Today was just kind of inspired. There was no like agenda, just kind of flowing with it. And even though I'm a teacher, I don't know. We're going to see how it goes, if it gets more structured or not. But your girl is just super excited. I think I'm getting ready to wrap up. Thank you so much. I see like 4 people on YouTube, and I cannot tell who's on Instagram. But thank you so much. I know I sent this out to my email list. So if you're joining me, thank you so much. Or if you're catching me on the replay, I think I just want to leave you guys with this. I have a saying: live well, love well, and be well. And truly, this month, even for me personally, I'm calling it a joyous June. I want to increase more joy. God told me in the second quarter in April that I needed to have more joy. I needed to rest, and I needed to move in purpose. And so that's what I'm doing. Being an author is my purpose. God willing, this is just one of the many books that I hope to write, in my life. And so why not build a community of other blessed authors? Why not, inspire other people along the way who knows that God has called them to be an author? And I was talking to someone at my church community this past weekend, and she was saying how she didn't even know what were the steps to self-publish. And I'm like, oh my God, I wrote a book about it. Like, and just in my conversation, I know that there's so many people that have a desire to be an author, but they don't know how to get started, or they don't know the steps. And here I am. God has given me all of this knowledge and experience. For those who don't know, I've been an author since 2015, right? But I've always known I wanted to be an author since 19, right? Wrote my first book at 33, authored over 20 books. This particular book, my signature book, creates royalties for me every single month from Amazon KDP. And I've created bundles and a business and a brand off of what I love to do, which is write. And so I will be showing up, you guys. I see that we're almost at 30 minutes, so I'm going to end it here. But I will be back tomorrow and throughout this month up until the launch of my newest book. So stay tuned. And I don't see any questions. Oh, I'm working on my second book. Hey, go girl, girl. That is my client said she is working on her second book. And we actually got to talk because with this new chat GPT, I'm telling you, but luckily I'm creative and I actually love to write, but we got lots to talk about. I'll save that probably for a video because this AI is trying to put writers out of business. But we're gonna be all right because we got inspired writers. All right, you guys, I will leave it there. Once again, I am Tahira. I'm a Christian author, teacher, and self-publishing consultant. If you feel called to write a book and you just want to chat with me, go to the link in my bio and you'll see book a session. And there's 2 ways to work with me. And you'll see one is a 60-minute Zoom. The other one I haven't actually put out yet, but I am telling you right now live. It's called Profit with Purpose. And so I'll put the link. I'll go back after this, after I figure out how to save it, and I'll put the link in the video description. All right. Thank you all for joining me. Have a blessed evening. And until next time, live well, love well, and be well. Live well, love well, and be well. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. All right. I know how to end it on Instagram. In live. Give me a moment. YouTube. Yes, we are going to share it. And I think, yeah, because I can go back and edit it. All right. And now I want to end on YouTube. Thank you, YouTube.